Hello and welcome to the last drop of Escape the J Curve in 2020. I am going to be releasing episode number 74 today. And before I get into the details about the episode, I would like to thank each and everybody for tuning in to Escape the J Curve, for listening to every episode, and in some cases, for the feedback that you've provided me to make the show better. And I'm going to be back in 2021 with a bigger show. I'm going to streamline everything. There are going to be a lot of episodes. There are going to be fantastic guests on the show. I'm going to be working on producing the episodes even faster, and the sound quality is going to improve, and we are going to see new levels in 2021. So thank you for 2020, and I cannot wait for 2021 to take ETJC to the next level. Okay, so coming to today's episode, I am in conversation with Lavania from Singapore. She is a multiple entrepreneur. She is the founder of Dance Embassy. She is the founder of Tintedwateva, a platform where women entrepreneurs can learn about entrepreneurship and marketing and various other things. She was also reached out to by Audible, the platform from Amazon, to start the world's first Bollywood Dance Podcast. As you can tell, she is a fascinating character and very inspirational. Another inspirational story that I'm dropping on Escape the Jacob, because she has had to go through a lot of things in her life. For example, she is an introvert by nature. And when she started her first business, Dance Academy, she started with zero clients, and it was up to her to get new clients. And she struggled initially, but managed to build a list of clients for Dance Embassy. Secondly, when Dance Embassy was doing really well, she was diagnosed with depression, and then the business was staggered for a little bit. But then she reached out and got professional help, and she bounced back again, bigger and better. Again, she had to reinvent herself during the COVID-19 scenario. Her The number of clients for Dance Embassy reduced from the pre-COVID-19 levels, obviously, and she had to learn new ways of marketing and build marketing funnels, use social media, streamline her entire process, convince people to take online classes, and so much more. So it's a brilliant episode once more. It's a very inspirational story, and there is a lot of value to be had from the last publication from Escape the J Curve in 2020. I hope you have a lot of fun listening in. I hope you learn a lot. I will see you bigger, better, and stronger in 2021. Thank you so much for your support.
Hi,
Hey, Lavania. Welcome to Escape the Jacob. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing very well as well. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you for doing this. And it's
For
lovely
having
to
me.
have you. Yeah, it's lovely to have you on.
I'm
Okay,
excited.
right. So, for the listeners, can we get started with a quick introduction? For example, where are you from? What do you do? What kind of projects are really exciting for you right now, and things like that?
Yeah, sure. I am from Singapore
Mm-hmm.
and I have run three companies. One is a dance and fitness company called Dance Embassy, and I've been running that for the past 10 years.
Right.
The other one is called Tinted Whatever. So it's a business networking and education resource platform for women
Mm-hmm.
running businesses or who are interested in running businesses but they don't know how to start. So we are like their catalyst for that. And the third one is IT consultancy company, which I am the chief happiness officer for that. So that I just started not too long ago because corporates are suddenly wanting to introduce wellness activities and happiness activities to their employees, especially during this time.
Right.
So I am aware of many hats.
I know. I mean, I think you also run a podcast, Bollywood Dance Podcast, right?
Yeah, so I recently released that during our lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Audible reached out to me and asked me if I could do a Bollywood exercise podcast, which no one has done before. So I had
Right.
no, even when I Googled it, there was no guidance for me how to go about it. But Audible was very nice to send a team to train me and go through the scripts and do like voice coaching when we recorded. But yeah, it was quite an experience and it was a lovely one.
Amazing. So you do so many things, and the time management part is pretty important. I'll get to that in a minute.
Sure.
But let's start with why. Let's go back to your origin story, right? Like, why did you decide not to do a 9 to 5 and
Yeah.
start start multiple businesses?
Yeah.
So,
So actually I didn't come from any business background. I didn't think I had the business acumen for it. I was working with Singapore Airlines
hmm,
from 2006 to 2008, and in between that actually I signed up for this yoga class where they have like dance classes as well, which has been my passion since young, but I've never been supported in that field
right.
because when you have Asian parents, they are like, you need to be a doctor or engineer, go that path. So I went
Yeah.
for one of those classes, and the instructor spotted me, and she said, "You danced really well, and I'm looking for an instructor to grow my company in Singapore." So I told her
Hmm.
I am still contracted with SQ. Let me think about it. I didn't have much to think about actually. Once my contract ended, I called her up and I said, "You know what? Let's do this. I'm down for it." So I trained under her. We did a lot of workshops. We traveled around doing it. And then she had to leave Singapore and she asked me if I wanted to take over her company. So I
Right.
was like, I'm not sure if I have that background to run a company. And she was like, just go for it. So she really like motivated me and encouraged me a lot. The thing is, when I took over her company, all her students left with her. So
Oh no.
I had to start from scratch because they were very comfortable with her and they saw her as a spokesperson for the company. So they were not sure about me taking over. So I had to start from
Right.
scratch, which was quite challenging for me because I'm an introvert by nature. No one will believe this. It's so hard for me to like network and connect with people, but it forces you to. Like, I had no other avenue out. This was my bread and butter. So I spoke to her. I said, you know what, I'm thinking of rebranding the company to suit my voice for the company better. And
Hmm.
she gave me her blessings. She said, go for it. And that's how Dance Embassy started.
Wow, fantastic. So, I mean, entrepreneurship really pushes you to grow. Like you talked about, you being an introvert and having to get new clients because all of the previous clients left with the previous
Yes,
owners. So it helps us, or it forces us to grow in areas that we are not that good at, right?
exactly, exactly. Even when looking back, I'm like, did I really do all this? Like, did I really build this company to what it is now? It's quite amazing. I'm praising myself here, by the way.
Absolutely, you should. You should because it's not easy to build a company.
Yeah,
And looking back at it, we are all proud when we do something big,
right.
and we definitely should take a pat on the back. So tell me something. So was that the most challenging thing that you did when you started the company, growing the new list of clients, let's say, or
Yeah.
were there other bigger challenges that you had to deal with?
Yeah, growing the company was one of my biggest challenge, but I would say the biggest challenge was when I was going through my um, a personal crisis. in
Mm-hmm.
2010, and
Okay.
I was diagnosed with depression, so I couldn't really run the company to its fullest potential, and my bank account was running dry. And when
Right.
I just couldn't lift myself to do anything, and then I had the support of really incredible friends who helped me pull through. And
Mm-hmm.
my clients were really understanding. They knew what was happening, and they said, you know what, take the time out, go settle your stuff and come back, because we will still have you around with us. So that was really incredible for me, because I feel like human connection is so important, and I think I built that connection and rapport with my students and clients. So even till now, if I were to go through that same challenging phase I went through, I know I have
Yeah.
these people's back. So I guess the
Wow.
most challenging phase for me at that time was, yeah, just going through that personal crisis and not crashing my company at the same time.
Right. So you touched upon something very important and very sensitive for a lot of people. And if you don't mind talking about it, if it's not too personal, maybe we can touch
Yeah,
upon
yeah, sure.
depression. Why,
Yeah, so
what happened, and how did you bounce back?
I had to go through a divorce from my first marriage, and
I see.
that really broke me to pieces, because it's a failed relationship. I think anyone going through a failed relationship can understand and connect with this. So when I was
Yeah.
going through that phase, there was nothing else I could do, because I was running my business like a walking corpse, with no feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
my line of business, when it comes to dance, you need to like really portray
Express
positivity.
yourself.
Yeah,
Be
exactly,
happy.
exactly. Be happiness. So
Yeah.
I was faking it to the point where I was like, I cannot do this anymore. So I had to take a break from it, and I didn't have anything else to fall back on, because this was what I was doing at the time.
Right.
Mm.
So how did you bounce back? Was it a lot of counseling, medicine, or you forced yourself
Yeah,
to
so
step
I
out?
remember when I was going through this phase of, because I had a background in psychology, so I knew what I was going through. So a
Okay.
friend of mine was telling me, no longer a friend because she gave me the wrong advice. She was telling me that, oh, you are not depressed. You are sleeping, you are eating, you are doing things normally. Depressed people don't do such things. But there is actually
Right.
extreme polar to depression. It's one end is you can't do anything, and the other end is you are doing everything but you are faking it. So you are sleeping a lot, you're eating a lot. That's a form of depression, because you're trying to cover up from what people would term as depression, right? So I was that
Right.
I was that end, and I had to literally, I wished I had gone for therapy. I would tell anyone who's going through such phases to actually go for counseling and therapy, because it helps for a third person to equip you with the tools to get over it. But as for me, I grew up as going to a therapist or a counselor is taboo. Like, there's nothing wrong. You just have to deal with life. Like, whatever throws is thrown at you, you just deal with it. So that was how I dealt
Yeah.
with it. But I now I go for therapy still, because it helps me, and I realize
Right.
that whatever that you have gone through in the past, it can actually come back to haunt you as your nightmare, and I needed the therapy to overcome those. So it's an ongoing process. I won't say it will be something that you will get over in a day or two. It may take years.
No, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient enough with yourself over and overcome it.
Right. So, what would be your advice be for people who are in depression right now? Like, seek therapy
Yeah,
right
for
away.
sure, for sure. I because I used to be that kind of person, like, okay, they are going to prescribe pills to me. I am not going for pills. But it messes up your body system, your hormones. But there are other non what do you call, like non, I wouldn't say invasive, like you don't have to take medication, but there are other avenues like meditation, or even speaking to a counselor or therapy without going through that medication path. It helps a lot. So I would really highly recommend it for anyone going through it.
Absolutely makes sense. So, seek help as soon as possible, and then even look out at some other avenues like
Yeah,
spirituality or
yeah, for
meditation
sure.
and things like that.
For
Those
sure.
also
Yeah.
help. Right, right. Good advice
Thank
there.
you.
Um, how big is the dance academy that you run in terms of clients right now? How many clients do you have?
So pre-COVID,
Uh,
I had multiple
hmm.
clients. We'll say about 40 to
Okay,
50 of them. Um, these
right,
corporate companies that we were working with. And then post-COVID, we are down to 10 companies that we work with. But I would say that we
okay,
are blessed with projects to work with. So it's like
right,
Audible, for example, worked with me on a podcast project, that kind of
absolutely.
thing.
That got into a very interesting segue that I would like to explore. Um, how do you market your services? How do you market the dance academy?
Mm,
That's one. And what's your internet marketing funnel or a physical marketing funnel that you uh, get
yeah.
clients from? And how has it changed pre and post COVID? Like, what are the things that you have to do after COVID to make the clients really interested in taking
Yeah.
up your
Okay.
services?
So because I live in Singapore and it's a really small country, the market that I'm in is
Yeah,
really saturated. Like you can find dance studios, yoga studios almost in every corner of of our country. So I had to really stand
yeah,
out from these, and I think I had the blessing of starting this company many years ago. Like we're talking about 10 years ago. So at that time there weren't many, so people already knew who I was, and through word of mouth I got my clients like that. And then when dance
right,
companies and all these yoga companies started to sprout up really quickly, I had to be really thick skinned and just put myself out there. So I didn't use social media as much back then. Now I'm using social media to the maximum, as much as possible. And I had to like train myself to also learn how to use social media. And especially
right.
recently, I've been studying about Google Analytics and marketing funneling and all these nuances of the internet and how it can help your business. So actually, it's still a learning curve for me when it comes to marketing my business, but most of it has been through word of mouth so far. And then when COVID happened, we were doing a lot of in-person
Yeah,
classes, right? So we had to like quickly pivot to use Zoom for to do our online classes. The response wasn't as good, even though we were published on national newspaper, Straits Times, that we are doing these classes online. So even with such media
mm-hmm.
exposure, people were not uh, forthcoming to do classes. They still preferred in-person classes. So what we had to do, we had to like um, reposition ourselves and tell them all the benefits of what from doing a virtual class as opposed to not doing any class at all. So something is better than that. That kind of
Yeah.
marketing that we needed to do to bring people's attention to our business.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, right? You have to keep growing and learning new things.
Exactly.
Like for example, you are dabbling into Google Analytics and building a funnel and uh, changing your pitch a little bit to
Changing my
you're doing
sorry.
offline classes now, and
Yes.
so changing your pitch basically to make sure that you're highlighting the pros versus cons of working from home,
Yes.
doing an online session and not doing something at
Yes,
all. So
exactly. And we always have to put ourselves out there. One day we fall silent and we lose the plot. We are constantly
yeah,
putting up something. Yes.
awesome. So now we get to the most interesting thing that I wanted to ask you, which is your time management, because you do so many things. You have your dance academy, you have to deal with your
Yeah.
clients, the
Yeah.
marketing bit, there is a podcast, you also have a very young
Yeah.
kid. So what's your typical day like? How do you
Oh,
manage your time?
it's it's crazy. So I'm still breastfeeding my kid, which means no sleep for me at night. But when he takes his afternoon
Oh
nap,
no.
that's when I kind of like steal my cat nap with him. But other than that, I have a
Okay.
really supportive team, and that also came with being able to afford their services. Like for my social media, I have a social media manager that takes care of my account for me. And then when it comes to these
Right.
big projects that I'm doing, I have an assistant who helped me uh, deal with these projects. And I am so bad at paperwork, so I have someone to help me with that paperwork. But before all these people came into my life, I had to, my typical
Right.
day was in the morning, I wake up, I take care of my kid first, and I'm blessed to have a helper. In Singapore, it's quite affordable
Mm-hmm.
to have a helper, someone to help you with it. So she helps me with my little one a lot while I run my businesses and classes. Um, and
Right.
every little time that I have to like really make full use of it, right? Because it's really every second is precious. And I call it billable minute, because to me it's every second is money. And I make
Yep.
sure that
Yep.
I when I wind down in the evening, I make sure that I've already thought of my next day to-do list. And then when I wake up in the morning, I
Okay.
review the to-do list and I see what is the most important thing that I have to do. I get it done, get it out of the way, and the rest of it I'll just do it as the day goes. If I can't finish it, then I'll just bring it over to the next day. I mean, there's no stress in that. But yeah, the most important thing that I do is just having the bulk of the priority list done during the day.
Absolutely. That's brilliant, actually. So, I think building an effective team is very important to having a successful
Definitely,
business, right? Because you cannot do
definitely.
everything. You have your skill sets, and where your skill sets are not up to par, it's better to delegate it to
Yeah.
people who can do it better
Definitely.
and faster
And I
and more
told myself,
efficiently.
at that time, I
And
told myself that I'm not going to pay anyone to do it. I can do it all on my own. And then the business development portion
right,
started to slow down because my time went into doing like admin stuff. So when,
absolutely, I totally,
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, go on. No, I was saying I totally identify with that because I am running the podcast on my own. So I do everything from booking
Yeah,
people on the show to the post production to the launching of it. So
yeah.
everything is done by me. But 2021, I'm planning to hire some people who would book the calendar for me.
Yes.
All I would do is research. Yeah. So,
Congrats. Yeah.
and maybe absolutely. So someone to help me with the
Yes.
post production. I would only do
Yes.
the interviews so that I do the most effective thing, and then other people help
Yeah,
me out
it's
with
an
the other things.
investment. To grow your
So
business, you need to invest. Like, especially, with a lot of the ladies that I work with through Tintedwateva, the business platform, there are many women who are concerned
yeah,
about the financial aspect of running a business. And I'm like, if there is no amount of sacrifice that you put in your business, you're not going to get the outputs for it.
right, absolutely, absolutely. And speaking to you brings back memories because I was in Singapore between I think 2011 and 2013, so I
Mm,
lived and worked there. So it brings back some very good memories of Singapore. So yeah, it's been some time that I've not been there. Maybe next year if things
yeah,
open up,
yeah, you
Singapore
should
might be
be
on
up.
my list. Absolutely, I will. So we have gone through the most serious part of the episode. Now we do something fun with a rapid
Haha,
fire round.
okay.
Okay. So so I will give you
Yes.
about 10, 11 questions, and you have to be
Okay.
really rapid, and not use a word that you've used in the past already. So uh, those are the two rules basically for this
Okay.
section.
I'll try. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. First one, your favorite book.
Michelle Obama becoming Michelle Obama.
Okay. A role model
Lee Kuan Yew.
or an inspiration. It could be a book
Lee Kuan
character.
Yew.
Sorry. Okay. Your first crush.
Ah, ah, Might say the name or what?
Name or maybe the time of your life when you had
Wow.
it.
Okay.
Whatever you are
When I
comfortable
was
sharing.
13, I thought he looked like the Indian actor Vijay, you know.
Awesome. Okay, your favorite holiday
Ooh,
destination.
Morocco.
Okay. Your favorite movie.
The first movie that came to my mind was NH10. Have you heard of it? Oh,
No.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
Anushka Sharma. It's a Hindi movie, right? Okay. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I've heard of it. Okay, interesting. Okay, the next one is family,
Everything. Life.
dance, entrepreneurship,
Challenging but fulfilling.
passion,
Savior.
and the last one is legacy.
Still working on it.
Wow, amazing. So I think it was a brilliant interview so far, Lavanya. So we just have one more section, which is basically called your 1 minute message to the world. So I give you 1 minute. You can talk about whatever you want, your next projects, where people can find you. Any important lessons that you've learned through your entrepreneurship journey, and maybe some inspirational words,
Okay.
whatever comes to your mind.
Wow. So
So you've
first of
got one
all,
minute.
thank you for having me on
That
this
yeah,
podcast. I'm really I love connecting with people, especially when we connected on Instagram. It's like internet is such a powerful tool that it connects you with anyone all around the world. So I think it's really great. You found me actually on Instagram, so I'm really truly grateful for that.
yeah.
If anyone would like to talk to me anything about dance, fitness, wellness, entrepreneurship, they're happy to reach out to me on Instagram or on my email, which is lavania@danceembassy.com, and I'll be happy to address any questions they might
Mm-hmm.
have. And I'm happy to also connect on LinkedIn. So I'm on LinkedIn as well. You can find me Lavania Rosie, Lavaniarosie. So you can connect me through there as well. And yeah, basically,
Right.
I would tell any entrepreneur or wanting to be an entrepreneur, it is not a cake. It's not a walk in the park. Like I think baking a cake
Yeah.
is easier
Yeah.
than running a business. But so they really have to have that mindset of I wouldn't say a mindset of failure, but a mindset of overcoming failures and just growing stronger from that.
Right.
Yeah, basically that. And be happy. If you're not happy, just watch Netflix. It makes happy.
For sure. So one quick thing that I wanted to know, so do you only support clients from Singapore, or are you open to
Oh, of course,
international
international. You
clients as well?
yeah, for sure. You
Because
can
it's an
hire me
online,
anytime
yeah.
from anywhere.
Awesome. So I'll leave all the your Instagram, your
Yes,
email, and also
sure.
the LinkedIn in the
Perfect.
show
Yeah,
notes, so
perfect.
people can reach out to you and find you.
Yes.
Okay. So that's about it. Thank you so much, Lavanya, for coming on the show. I think it was a brilliant episode. There's a lot that people can learn from this: how to overcome, challenges like depression, how to run a business, how to grow from running a business, like from an introvert to someone who actually, gets clients as a closer, as a salesperson, or something like that.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I think it was a
Thank you.
brilliant
Thank you. Let
interview.
me know
Thank you
once
so much for
the
your time.
podcast is out.
I know you're super
I
busy.
will publish it everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, really?
absolutely. I
That's
think
fast.
I'll
Okay,
publish
okay.
it
Let me
today
know.
itself.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thanks, Lavinia. Have a very happy and the best
Ahead to you too.
year
Yes, to you too.
so far,
Take care.
2021.
Bye bye.
Yeah.